Hey, welcome back. In this video, I'm shooting the intro post-production because I have the blocks already done. I'm manufacturing some blocks for a sailboat for a local War of 1812 Naval Living History Group ship's company. They've acquired a new boat that has a sailing rig, but they don't have any blocks for it. So I'm making the shells. I broke this video up into two parts because it was kind of long, and I just wanted to make it do one video, and then you can look at the next one later at any time. So this is going to be part one of making shells for blocks for a sailboat. Welcome back. I got a commission, non-paying commission. That's okay. I got a request from that War of 1812 Naval Reenactment Group or Living History Group to build some blocks for their sailing vessel. Now they've got a 28-foot pulling boat which has 6 rowing stations and a sailing rig. The problem is they have no blocks for it. So I'm going to make those for them. Now, when they came to me, they gave me some wood to make them out of, and this is free. It came from a group I used to work for years ago. This is Douglas fir, young growth. Look at the grain. It's like half a mile wide. The grain and the structure of this wood won't stand up to the marine environment and won't stand up to the load that the block's going to be put under. So I told them the block should be made of oak, ash, or mahogany, some wood like that, tight grain, fairly resistant to the weather once they've been sealed. And they said, well, try it anyway. Well, I did try it, and I tried to do the mortising style of blocks, and when I did it, they started to blow apart. So what I did is I went down to my local hardware supplier. Yes, I have one of those. He's a mill down south of here that has a wide variety of local and imported woods. And I bought a piece of 8/4 by 8 inch by 3-foot ash. This is exactly the kind of wood I need to make these blocks out of. But instead of doing the mortise style blocks, I'm going to do built blocks, which means the cheeks and the top and bottom dividers are 3 separate pieces, and then I'll epoxy them together, and I'll put the pins in like they would have had back in the day. So that's where I'm going with this. Now, this is the drawing of the blocks they gave me. These are not period correct. I've worked on period boats before, and so I'll build the period correct blocks for them. And with that said, and with the materials in hand, let's get started. Okay, so I've got the parts cut out now, so you can see how this goes together. This is one of the small blocks. Piece here, Yeah, dropping my stuff all over the place. Gets layered like this. This is very traditional, you know, three-piece block like that, where you have the cheeks separate from the top and bottom piece. Then this gets epoxied together instead of glued. It'll be pinned, like I said, with some oak dowels this way. Then we'll round it, say shape it, put the fair lead in here for the line that's going to wrap around it. And then there's also a fair lead that's kind of cut into here just to give it a little bit of room. Then I'll do a pilot hole, like I said, because I don't have the axles, they have the axles. I'll do the pilot hole so they can drill the axle holes themselves. And they're going to make the shibs. So that's where I am right now. And the big blocks, same way. Let me just assemble it here for you. Big block, same way. Nice sturdy ash. And so the next step is let's do a block production line. And now the really messy part about putting the blocks together. Stacked all my parts over here. I've got my epoxy, the wood flour to thicken the epoxy, gloves, and a pinner, which I've coated the handle in some polypropylene plastic, try to keep the epoxy off of this. What do you find out when you build things out of epoxy? When I was building boats, all the gooey chemicals and things you use building wooden boats gets all over everything. You just can't stop it. So you're trying to protect your tools and protect your work surfaces. I've got some plastic down that I'll discard out later down on top of the outfeed table. I'm going to start with the smaller blocks. I built a little angle jig. What I'm going to do is put the piece of wood in here, put some epoxy on it, lay it in place, and then pin it in place. Then flip it around to the other side. I'll do all one side of these blocks today, let them cure, come back and do the other side, and then glue them together. This pinner is going to be pinned right on the corner here of the blocks. The reason I'm putting it right on the corner is because that's going to get nipped off when you turn these into a better shape for a block, for a boat. So with that said, let's mix the epoxy and get started. Okay, I've got this to the right consistency now. It's kind of like peanut butter, loose-ish peanut butter, and it'll spread out underneath these wood joints. Now let me go turn the air compressor on, and we'll get started. Not turn the air compressor on, but turn the air on. So now, get these out of the way and get started. And there you go. So I've got these done with one side, and then I'll come back after the epoxy cures and put on the other side. And then the same with the larger ones as well. And then when that's done and that's cured, then I can go to shaping these to the correct shape for the period this boat was built in. So I'm going to quit this for now, let that cure. I'm going to do this on another day because it takes that long to cure. And I didn't make a huge mess. I kept the epoxy off my pinner and a few other places, but I'll leave this set up the way it is, and we'll come back and we'll finish the glue ups on another day.